you divide it by 5, so you write it in multiply.
Actually, it was 12, bro. 12.
I'm seeing progress on this stuff. By the way, so take out your homework. I know a couple of people have some questions. As soon as she's done with this, I'll go over a couple of ones in the homework, right? You almost got yourself right in the eyeball. I would have been running after your eyeball. And somebody would accidentally kick it in the hall. You know, I already did that once, 2 years ago. You didn't ever heard of that student, One-Eye Melendez?
I was in a hospital. Oh, sure. I had to.
It's funny because I did hear.
How would they check Freddie Robin?
No, me and Freddie are like that. All right, so look, a lot of you guys, like in the beginning, you kind of forgot, but like once we went over it, everybody seemed to get a pretty good idea. Okay.
So, Mr. Camille, that's what we have to do here. And this.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. The same exact thing. I'm gonna go over that. Yeah. Yep. All right. So why don't I give you another one? You can write this down and add it to the other one. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go over a couple of them. You know what I mean? Friday, whatever the hell. I know. All right. Did anybody have any questions about this stuff, or can we go to the next thing? I wanted to go over a couple of the problems from the homework. Good? All right. Huh? You have the homework. Did you have any trouble with any of them? Okay. Well, I think a few people, I know which ones people usually have trouble with, so let me go over a couple of those.
I think I left the house.
The homework?
Nah, I didn't even get to touch it.
Touch that.
Oh, this was the homework. I had 2 sheets.
So if I'm not mistaken, I'm guessing that people did anybody have trouble with number 4? Yeah? Anybody else have trouble with number 4 in the homework? Did you get this one yesterday? The only problem is if you don't do homework, it's really hard to pass the class. The homework's kind of actually 100%. All right. So why? Just because it's a word problem that messed you up?
I asked my brother, and he said he ain't know either.
Is your brother what, 3rd grade or 4th grade?
He ain't college.
Not math. No, it's not. A lot of people have trouble with these word problems.
And I asked my dad too, he said the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
That's it? 20 seconds.
We just need to know a couple of key words.
I know.
So this is number 4. I'm just going to write it just so that I can show you how to do it.
Who's Kurt Wheeler?
Who's who?
Kurt Wheeler.
Oh, he's the guy that wrote these things. So I think I said, right, if you go onto YouTube and type in his name, he doesn't go over the homework stuff, but the classwork problems he goes over. So if you ever want to get like an extra, like a little lesson or whatever, that's where you go. I'll show you in a second, okay? And the result is then divided by 3.
I said the result is then divided by 3, but I don't know.
Hold on.
Write an equation, the model.
All right. The first step, when you do any type of word problem like this, the first step is, where's your X? Brittany.
Brittany.
Did I call you that? Brianna?
Yeah.
Sorry. I have the first 3 letters right.
You okay, Brento?
Yeah.
You got like students room.
Where's your X here?
The number, A number.
Good. This is your X.
X plus 5, I got that. So 5.
All right. One of you guys got to move over here or here. Come on. So I can't take this. This is your x, right? A number, if it says a number or some number, that's your x. Now we're going to work outwards from the x. There's really nothing on the left side. It says if x is increased by 5. How do we write that? X plus 5. It's as simple as that. And the result is divided by 3.
So x
By
plus over 3
Over 3
equals 7.
equals 7. I thought you said you couldn't do it. You just did it.
No, I did it with you.
Not really. You did most of it, right?
Yeah, I did it.
Yes,
I
I got
did it with you.
I'm saying. So look, the key is find your x and like write an x over it. And then, you know, if there's stuff here, you would actually work that way first. But since there isn't, we went this way. Increased by means plus, right? What would decreased mean? Decreased by means subtraction, right? What do you want to say?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Decreased by would be subtraction. Or if they say a number, let's say, if they said 5 more than a number,
So 5 plus n?
or n plus 5, same thing, yes. Okay? The one that's tricky is if it's subtraction. If they say a number decreased by 4, well, that would just be that. Wait, what's the one that's backwards? Oh, if they said 4 less than a number.
Oh.
You want to say it like this, but that's not actually how it works. With subtraction, you have to be a little bit more careful. Because what number is 2 less than 10? Tell me.
2 less than 10.
Number two
8.
less than-
Oh.
Okay? No, somebody said 8. Yeah. So the number that's 2 less than 10 is 8. But if you write 2 less than 10, if I write it like you say it, you'd actually get negative 8, right? 2 minus 10.
Oh.
So you have to flip the order. Actually, 2 less than 10 means start with the 10 and then take 2 away from it. So subtraction is a little tricky, okay? Yeah.
So double a number would be multiplication.
By,
By
Double
doing.
2x. So
yeah, 2x. Double a number would be 2x or 2n. That's it. Triple a number would be 3x, right? 5 times a number, 5x, you know. I actually somewhere have a list. Actually, I'll see if I can find it when you guys are working on something in a second. But there's a like a list of words that tells you which operation you're working on. Like for one thing, actually, let me go over this. The answers of each one of these problems has a specific name. What do you call the answer of an addition problem?
Sum.
Huh?
Sum.
Sum. There's actually another word you could use too.
Result.
No, starts with a T.
total.
Total, good. Those both mean that you just added something, okay? The answer of a subtraction problem is called what?
Difference.
Difference, good. I'm just going to abbreviate it. The answer of a multiplication problem.
Product.
Good. Is that you or you?
Well, I said.
Yo, I have my ears on this thing. Good, product. And division, huh?
Result.
Not result,
Quotient.
quotient. Excellent. So these, if they use these words, they're telling you what process, which operation was used to get there, okay? So between these things and like increased by, decreased by, more than, less than, those are the main words they use. They also might use ratio. They might say something is the ratio or something. Ratio just means it's division, right? Because like this is a ratio. You could, like, another way to write this is like x plus 5 is to 3. So if you see ratio, it just means it's like a fraction, division. Okay. Number 5 was definitely a little bit tougher.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Let's skip that one from now because I'm afraid I'm going to get bogged down in it. I'd rather go to the number 6. Did anybody have trouble with number 6 on the back? You did?
I didn't even get there.
All right. Well, if you had gotten there, you think you would have trouble with it? Okay, that's good enough for me.
I'll be honest.
All right. I like honesty. Can I erase this? Oh, so actually when you solve this, I'll leave that up to you to solve it, right? To solve this, the easiest way is to just say multiply both sides by 3. then the 3's cancel. You get x plus 5 equals 21, right? And then, no, then you subtract 5. So 21 minus 5 is,
11.
wait, 21 minus 5 is 16, I think, right?
Who said that?
Yeah, that's,
And that's what, 16 divided by 3?
Oh, you said.
no, it's just 16, x equals 16. Because look, if you plug it back in, 16 plus 5 is 21, 21 divided by 3 is 7. It actually works.
Okay.
It's because I'm kind of going fast. I mean, the hard part with these word problems is just getting the equation, right? So I'm assuming that you know how to solve it once we get here, okay? The hard part is getting the equation. Once you get the equation, it's really easier, okay? Can I erase this then?
Okay.
All right, let me look at number 6 here.
So we're not gonna do 5?
Huh?
We're not gonna do 5.
No, you know why? Because it's more complicated, and I just would end up spending too much time on it. Just skip it, cross it out, just put a cross to it, it's okay. So let's do number 6. So that's saying that there's this property by a river. There's your river, right? There's a fish jumping out of the water. And they have a fence. They want to build a fence alongside the river. So it says this is like 3 sides of a rectangle, right? I mean, it doesn't really look like it because of my drawing, but these are all right angles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying that write an equation that relates to the amount of fencing, F, that would be needed to fence in this area, right? When you put a fence up, is that a perimeter problem or an area problem? Perimeter. You know why? Even though I kind of screwed it up because right before I asked that question, I mentioned something about area. When you put the fence up, you don't really care about this at all. You're putting the fence up on the edges, like the border of the shape. So area would be like if you had to cover this area with carpeting or with ceiling tile, floor tiles like this, that would be area. When you're just concerned about the sides, that's always just perimeter, okay? So, and perimeter, how do you figure out the perimeter of a shape? What do you do?
Width plus depth.
You add up everything. Actually, it might be width times width plus, width plus length times length. Usually, like in a rectangle, you have 4 sides, right? So what's the perimeter of this shape going to be? If they say that this here is the width and this is the length.
2W plus L.
Right, you could have said W plus L,
This is
But you-
part A, right?
yes. But you said, oh, well, 2 W's, 1 W plus another W is equal to 2 W. Right, you simplified it for me. But that's actually the equation. F is equal to 2W plus L. Because we have 2 of this side and 1 of this side, right? Good?
That's way cleaner.
That's what?
Cleaner.
It's cleaner. I like that, yes. More simple, cleaner. So now this is the equation you're going to use. Right? So now B says they're giving you that W is equal to 12 feet and L is equal to 20 feet. Right? This little hash mark means feet, right?
Yeah.
So what do we do now to figure out how much fencing you need if the width was 12 and the length was 20? Okay.
You switch the letters to numbers.
Right. Or essentially we're going to plug in these values into there, right? So the 12 is going to go in for the W and the 20 goes in for the L. And, so we're going to get F is equal to 2 times 12
Plus 20.
plus 20. Good. So F is equal to
44.
24 plus 20 is 44 feet. Okay? Any questions about how we did this so far?
I ain't even do it, but I'm understanding it.
You know, you gotta, once you see what they're asking you, that's the key with these problems, okay? Once you see what they're asking you, it's like, oh wow, that's really not hard at all, right? but you gotta give yourself the chance, you gotta give yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta give yourself a chance to actually see what they're asking. Like, don't just kind of take a glance at it and say, like, oh, I don't know how to do it. Because chances are you really do know how to do it if you just figure out what they're asking you, okay? And just this common core stuff is like, there's more reading and writing involved, so we have to get into that, okay? So there's one last part, so that was B, right? C says if we know that the amount of fencing we have available is 120 feet, so I guess they have some fencing laying around. They've got 120 feet. And we want to devote 30 feet to the length. So if the F is equal to 120 and the L is 30, we're just going to plug that into here now again, right? So you're going to get 120 equals 2W plus 30. And then just solve for W.
Then you take away 30, you get 90,
Divide by
and
2.
W equals 45.
Say that again?
Move
120 equals 2 times W plus 30.
Take away 30.
Right, so now we're just going to solve for W, right?
Yeah, minus
Minus
30 for 30, both sides.
Right.
Boom.
Divide by 90.
Divide by 2.
Excellent, good.
W equals 45.
45 feet. Okay? So that's all. Like these are, once you have the equation, everything works off the equation usually, okay? So if, like, once you get the equation, the rest of the stuff is really a piece of cake. It's just like translating from the words into an equation. But this wasn't that bad, really, actually, right? No. The last one, basically, if you didn't know how to do it before, you should know how to do it because the one we just did and the do now is almost exactly like this. So if you want to work on this last one, number 7, and give me this homework later after lunch or something, you could do that. Otherwise, if you did the homework, now's the time to give it to me so you get full credit. Yes, Miss Deepa.
I'll give it to you after lunch.
Okay. It didn't work when we were giving those.
Yeah, okay. 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
You didn't pass.
I gave them 6 packets.
I don't know how they can
This is easy enough, man. This is like beginning stuff. Yeah, but it's beginning stuff. It's not bad. Plus, look, everybody else is doing the same thing, so you can get help off of it. It's really, it's easy. It's better for you, it's better for me. If it was like more advanced stuff, I would say, yeah. But everybody's sort of starting out. And I'm not gonna.
That's what I'm supposed to catch. That's how I can.
Okay, so you just need to credit the class. So most of these people, you're not gonna have to do that. So I'm not even.
This campus, bro, for you to get to this campus, you have to have more 12.
Yeah, that was your question. I got all excited. I was ready to answer the question. All right, if you didn't give me the homework, you can give it to me either later in today,
That's crazy.
or if you give it to me Friday, I'll take it, but I gotta take a point, all right?
yeah, okay. So if I give it to you after class, I mean.
No, if you give it to me later, I'm not taking anything.
Nah, how much money you got?
Okay. That's good. That's perfect. Okay, thanks.
She did 8 in first grade.
All right. The lesson we're gonna do today is actually pretty easy. I don't think there's much I have to, probably not much on here that you're not familiar with.
Yeah, you would.
It's just kind of practice solving equations.
Me personally, I got to get out this year. I'm about to turn 21. So.
Let me just hand this out, and I'll go over maybe 1 or 2 of the ones that seem the most difficult here. Yes.
No, yeah, you just.
I'll go over 1 or 2 of the ones that maybe are the trickiest, and the rest of them you can do, actually. This is what we're gonna do right now.
Okay, so you see,
Thank you.
Mhm. So there's only, to me, I think there's only a couple on here that might trip you up a little, so let's go over a couple of those.
I'm not gonna lie, I looked at 8th grade.
Wait, is this homework?
You're talking about
No, this is what we're doing right now.
plus 7?
Yeah,
Wait.
I'll go over a couple of these. I mean, again, most of this stuff, I think you guys will know this stuff already.
Go into the future, Keegan.
Oh, this is what I want.
And back to the
Good.
past.
Unit 2, Lesson 3. I was in the future for a second there. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. Tell me one that looks hard that you want me to go over.
H.
Good. That's a hard one.
It's two-step.
The first thing I'm going to do is, actually, no, on your sheet, the negative is kind of next to the divide sign.
Mm.
The first thing I want you to do is erase, like cross it out there and write it next to the 5. It's just a little bit easier that way, because otherwise, like you see, you might even forget that it's there. It's next to the bar. So, if there's something attached to the x, you always save that for last. So we want to get rid of that +6. So what do we do?
minus 6
-6 on
on both sides.
both sides. So we're going to get -5 over 2, x equals -5. We're going to do this in 2 steps. First, we want to get rid of the fraction, right? Because nobody likes working with fractions, right? Even professional mathematicians don't like fractions. I can get rid of the fraction if I multiply it by the denominator. Multiply both sides by 2. Then this 2 and this 2 cancel out, and now all we have here is this -5x equals -10.
That's the answer?
No, because you have to get the x by itself. You got to divide, right? The last thing, divide by -5. So x is equal to 2. So in this case, these fractions, to be honest, the fractions, you're going to make them go away pretty fast, okay?
Which problem you just solved?
H.
Trying to see how you did that there.
You're watching as I do it?
Nah, I was a little caught up. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Look,
A equals 2 or negative 2?
it's +2 because it's -10 divided by negative divided by negative is a positive, right? If one of those was positive, it would have been a -2. And to check ourselves, we can just plug the 2 back in here. What's -5 times 2?
-10.
Good. And then what's -10 divided by 2?
-5.
How's that going? Oh yeah, that's right. Then -5 plus 6. What's -5 plus 6?
+1.
+1, which is what we wanted, so we know we did something right. Okay? So whenever you see a fraction here, just multiply both sides by the denominator, and that immediately gets rid of the fraction. Now, you might have to do something else first. Like in this case, we had to get rid of that 6 first, because that wasn't part of the fraction, right? But as soon as you have it where it's only a fraction, just multiply both sides by the denominator, and immediately the fraction goes away. Anything else here that you want me to go over? These are pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, they actually.
Okay? So just like I did that, you're going to do that. And then exercise 2, you're going to see this is easy. So this is what we're doing right now. We're going to finish up this stage. Yes. Not the question. Yeah, but you took math over the summer, right? No? No. Does everybody have a calculator? Marcus, you got one or you need one?
I know.
Lil, I'm putting your head down.
How you calculate?
What do you got, Chip?
Thanks.
You need a calculator?
No, I don't need.
You need me. That's fine. That's correct, yes. And by the way, a couple of the answers here will end up being fractions. And if you get a fraction, I want you to put it in simplest form by putting it into the calculator. You might get something like,
What you get? Math to enter?
you might get something like this, let's say negative 18 over, oh wait, negative 6 over 18 or something like that. Just put negative 6 divided by 18. You're going to get a decimal. Then you see on the calculator there's a button that says F to D. That means fraction to decimal and back and forth.
What number is that?
There's a couple that are fractions, I forget which ones. But, so when you put this in, I think you'd get negative 0.3333. When you hit this button, it'll give you negative 1/3. So if you get a fraction, just make sure it's in the simplest form. Okay?
If you get a decimal.
Then hit the F to D button, and that should give it to you. And so that means 1/2.
Yeah.
Or 1/2. Right?
And then the other
And
one.
the way you can check is you can plug it back in
Um,
to actually see if it comes out like that. They do you have a question?
I have.
No.
How come you're not doing this?
He's over here telling me about like.
No, hold on.
Yo,
Do it. Come on, work. Show me how to do this stuff.
Yeah.
27,
That was the AV code.
37, 75.
You give me that Italian curse thing?
This is too much.
He started.
Yeah, he just.
Come on, you know how to solve these equations.
Let me get a calculator. Mister,
Yes.
I can,
Fraction. Some, reduce. Yeah, let me see what you mean.
So you have, -4. Right? Yes.
Okay, put that in back. Negative
You
2
know what
divided
quick
by
line is, but say it's
Oh, it's a regular.
you want it.
All right, then hit the F to D. Oh,
Press that.
so what was it? Well, first it was -4 divided by 6, right? You kind of reduced it, but here, that's, you just look at calculator.
It's like a decimal for the last one.
So then you
It has to come on like that, it can't be in fraction.
yeah, you hit the F to D.
And then he wants you to reduce it.
This is
So that's
fraction,
the answer
that's the answer.
then? Yeah.
It's like
For which one? You got what? That's all right, just put it in the simplest fraction. So it's gonna be -4 over 6. Put that in the calculator, -4 divided by 6.
Is that a?
And you
I
get a
reduced
decimal.
this, no, I
And hit
reduced
the F to D button,
this
so that'll change it to a fraction.
So when you get next one.
-2 over 3. Notice it's got that little thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
these calculators will put the simplest fraction, we'll give it to you, right? Makes your life really easy.
Okay, on your job.
Sure.
And then you get the math change.
I didn't know what that was. I'm like,
Oh.
Number D. Take a number D.
That's right.
Letter D.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7x equals 6. Okay. And then you get x equals 6 over 7. That's probably the answer.
Yeah.
You can put it in the calculator. 6 divided by 7 is exe. And then hit the F to D, and it gives you back 6 over 7. And you hit the calculator. So that's the F to D. See right there? From it. So it's, that would give you the reverse one. So it's just 6 over 7. Yeah, I actually have the answers. I don't know where you can buy that. Somewhere around.
Let's start. What's the first thing you have to do here?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
x over
yes.
3 minus 7. What's the first step?
My calculator broke.
No, I do that. We do that. So you get to-
Alright, so you're doing what happens, right?
That's what, that's a negative one.
Subtract this
Negative 20 divided by
When you're solving it, you need to first
Right.
write down the reverse.
Yo.
That's
The
not,
reverse of
Oh,
this.
he cut
What's the
me.
reverse of that?
that's right, but it's a negative one.
Crazy.
That's right. And that's right, just reduce it. Put on the calculator, negative 4 divided
You
by
can't
0.
do it negative 2 minus
So that's how you're gonna solve the problem.
Now
So
here,
what's negative 2?
so it's negative 2 over 3. Oh, you already have it. So that's good. Okay?
You said
what?
I think that one was.
5.
I know it was that.
Okay, and then we got
Yes.
3, 5, right?
Mister.
I'm getting confused because
You're thinking of what we were just
and what
doing
did you
before.
get to? Negative 2 plus
You're
7.
doing back
Equals.
calculus now, because we're solving it.
You got 8.
So, right.
What's the next step?
Right, we're not doing the thing where we're listening to steps. So we're not- I read it.
No, because you multiply by 3 on both sides.
Yeah.
And see, this cancels out, right? So you just cross that out. Okay, so you cancel them out because
Multiply both sides by 3, then you'll get rid of the fraction.
opposite,
Okay?
right? Dividing by
And
3
here,
is gonna
first you gotta get rid of that 5. Once you get rid of the 5, then you
So
can
that
multiply
x
both sides by
equals
4.
5 times 3.
I could do it at my house, but it doesn't cost me like $40. It is. You don't cost tax on it.
Okay.
Man,
So we multiply both sides by 4.
my shit, I thought it was that's for my.
Yeah, I'm trying to copy it.
Okay.
So let the fractions scare you, because you get rid of them like immediately.
She gonna help me get some game.
Yeah, that's
No, like, I even think I'm fast as test. Just got copy.
Yeah, show me what you're.
I'm fast as classes.
No, oh, I'll be right back. All right.
That symbol right there, that means fraction.
So that's why I got.
There's 2 or 3 of these that are fractions, just leave it in the simplest form, that's okay.
But that's what I got, so you see.
There's-
Yeah, it's just this notation in
Yeah,
the
that is
calculator,
true.
you see like, call it bracket or
Say what?
something, right?
Yeah,
That
you
just
are.
means it's a
You have
bracket.
to divide that by 6. So,
So I've been doing this right the whole time.
Yeah, you've been doing it right,
So
it's
look,
just, this, you
negative 4 divided by
gotta know what
6.
this means, that just
Now you
means
hit the F to D button. So it's negative 2 over 3.
I've never seen,
Huh?
see it. So I go either.
Okay.
Okay.
I meant the okay.
What?
That's funny.
That's what that was from school. Yeah, like.
Let me just give the homework out. I think just do the best you can do on the homework. It's really the same type of stuff that you're just looking at here.
Yeah, it's a.
It might be a little tougher, but do the best that you can do. Thank you.
No, she.
I just had to make a couple copies more of the homework. You need one. What's that?
I got a class right now. I wrote them, and they said that they actually.
Already, I had those two, I had both, both sides, and then, I got,
Nah, I'm not doing them. I will do them.
I got little ones.
Another thing.
That's
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
you're not good. Bro, hit me up, bro. Let me know that. I'm not gonna be. I would do.
Best friend.
Oh, I guess we'll stop the video then.
Yes. Just cleaning up.
Yeah. 22 would have go.
It's already over, like September's done.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Can I also have like your email?
You want my school email or my home email?
Whichever.
My home email is the one I look at more.
Okay.
School net email, I look at like once a day. I haven't even looked at it yet.
Because in case I need to contact you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. What do I just sign
Yeah,
this?
just sign. Okay. And email. I think next week will be the first full week, right?
Yes. Then we have 2 full weeks in a row, and then we have a couple of weeks where it's like 1 day off.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I will see you next week then.
You got it. Enjoy.
Enjoy the mini weekend, right?
Right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Keegan.
Yes.
I apologize, but it looks like I was supposed to be here last period, but I switched up. Like I went to Miss Wilder class instead of yours.
All right, I'll give you what you missed.
Thank you.
Okay. So wait, you're supposed to be in Willoughby right
Yeah,
now?
right now.
Let me give it to you first.
Homework?
Classwork and homework.
You said that 2 days ago.
Classwork and homework. Yeah, you got a couple.
Well, that's your homework too.
Oh, good. I will take that.
I finished the back of the page. And
Uh-huh.
it's, has
Just
been
have some? Okay, fine.
because I didn't really get the back.
Yeah, well, actually, I went over a couple of the ones on the back. There's a lot of people have the same problem, so don't worry about it. As long as you understand it now that you worked on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Very good.
That's number 5.
Okay.
We got 2 different problems. So
Okay. All right, that, I skipped that one anyhow, actually, because I figured it was gonna be a little complicated, so don't sweat it, but I'll check it, and see, okay?
My apologies once again, Mr. I'll see you-
All right.
I'll see you for-
All right, no problem. Thanks for coming to me.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.